Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy Golden Gun Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me. And I am back. This is part 2 of 2 of what if Tanjiro had blood breathing. As always, if you guys enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below, as always. And yeah, make sure to check the links in the description below for the Spotify, for the membership, and other things like that. And if you enjoy, please, as always, show some love to the video. Now, with all that said, I want to get into the final part of what if Tanjiro had blood breathing. So, without any wasting more time, let's get right into it. Let's get it. Tanjiro, Kamado, and, well, Inosuke and Zenitsu arrive to meet Kyojuro Rengoku. And they meet him, and honestly, seems to be a pretty cool dude. Nice dude, laughing, smiling, all the good stuff. And, well, let's just say all the smiling, the happiness, and all this other stuff would turn into straight up, like, locked in power. Because before you know it, guess who's going out of their way to slice up a demon that shows up out of nowhere, defeating the trained demons quickly, and Rengoku shows what the power of a Hashira truly looks like. But before you know it, a person would walk on by, stamp their kind of tickets, and eventually the Demon Slayers would be put to sleep. Now here's where things go weird, because Tanjiro begins to see his family, begins to see his brother, his sisters, and all of the above, sees all of them, right? Sees Nezuko, no longer a demon, sees his family once again. But the thing that is so terrifying is that it feels so real. Everything around him feels so real. That's until things start to, well, feel unreal. Things start to feel a little bit less real. And then out of nowhere, he would realize very quickly, very, very, very quickly, that things are not okay. And things begin to crumble around him. Things begin to destroy and absolutely, basically just destroy around him. And he's in complete and utter shock. He doesn't know what's happening, but he's now realizing that this isn't the life he has. This is a life that he wishes for. And he realizes that there's a demon out there that is currently doing this specifically, guiding him, showing him, and telling him that this world can be his, this life, this dream, and this moment can be his forever. But Tanjiro doesn't want it, because he wants reality, and he knows what reality is. Eventually jumping out of that dreamlike state, and immediately would be ready to jump into action. Immediately would be ready to get right into the action that needs to happen. And immediately Tanjiro can sense, can smell, and can feel exactly where the demon is. And this demon is very, very powerful. And this demon is known as Enmu. Tanjiro would jump out the window and head toward the front of the train, knowing that the Enmu that eventually shows up is not actually real. Or isn't the actual Enmu that is basically going to have to be defeated. He knows that it's right in the front of that train. He knows that he needs to get exactly there, and he can sense it. And he begins to portal around using that Swamp Demon's Blood demon art, portaling away and even changing the area around him, moving the train itself and the rooms and also like the areas that the train basically has, eventually getting to the neck of the demon. And yes, it was and is very difficult to get to that point. And on top of that, I mean, we're talking he has to deal with many different kind of tendrils and attacks from this demon. But on top of that, he has to deal with something else. He has to deal with the fact that Enmu is basically trying to put him to sleep all the time. But luckily enough, he can close his eyes and he can sense so much, sense so much around, and sense all of these things that are basically going on, and basically can sense every little aspect of Enmu, eventually leading to Inosuke arriving And Inosuke showing up and basically being ready to help out to the highest degree he possibly can. And that would exactly be the case, because immediately Inosuke would line up an opening and they would be able to cut through the front of the train, cutting it in half and destroying the neck of what we would call the demon Enmu. It seems like Enmu shorted the powers of its own very quickly, and it seems like the powers of that, or the powers of Enmu, have now been extinguished. And Tanjiro thinks to himself that, well, even with the use of the Hinokami Kagura, it seems like it wasn't even needed. That the flame or the sun breathing wasn't actually needed at that point. And it seems as if it wasn't needed in general, at least for now. Because when he would exit that train, when everything would settle down, he would look, he would feel, and he would sense the arrival of the third strongest demon. Or, well, the third strongest demon in the 12 Kizuki, known as Akaza. And this appearance not only would strike the hearts of many, strike the hearts and fear, make everybody around them fear, because of much going on. And at the end of the day, Akaza is a terrifying force, and Rengoku tells them all to stay back now, because this is not the time to play hero. This is the real deal. And Hyojuro Rengoku goes head to head with Akaza, and Tanjiro stands there wanting to help, wanting to do something, and that is what he's going to do. Akaza is there to kill him. Akaza is there to end the life of Tanjiro Kamado for whatever reason, whatever psycho reason Muzan has in his head. And Tanjiro thinks to himself, I can find an opening. I can get a chance and I can help Rengoku, and maybe, just maybe, just maybe, could defeat this thing. Defeat this monster, defeat this demon. And Tanjiro would await that opening. Rengoku would look for that final blow, injured already, looking to slice the head off of Akaza. And Tanjiro would look to utilize his blood breathing, halting Akaza, making it so he can barely move, or at least struggle to move, slowing him down immensely, and even making it so his skin and his blood is no longer as thick as it once was, leading to Rengoku having that opening that leads to a beautiful slice, a slice that could be heard around the area forever, a slice that would go right through the neck of Akaza. But Akaza would move just enough so that it doesn't cleanly take his neck off, and he's able to heal for the most part, and he's in shock, realizing how close that was, realizing how simple it would have been if he wasn't paying enough attention, if he wasn't ready for it, if he wasn't in the right position. His life could have been gone forever. His eyes would grow wide, and the shock would begin to ensue within his own body, and a realization that he needs to kill them now begins to flood him. He goes for the kill on Rengoku, trying to end it quickly, but with the help of Tanjiro now, it seems borderline impossible. It seems like Tanjiro and his powers are better than what he thought. It seems like Tanjiro and his powers are better than what he expected, and it seems that he can't do that much to end the fight as quick as he needs to. He played around too much. He messed around too much. He thought way too much that he could have, just enjoyed this, that he could have loved this, that he could have had fun with this. And he realizes now it was a great mistake. And Tanjiro leaves openings for Rengoku to do severe damage, leading to the sun almost rising and the sun almost at its pinnacle. But before you know it, Akaza would find an opening to run away and leave before he's actually killed throughout this fight. But there's one person that he left alive. Well, two in fact. One being Tanjiro, the one that they were supposed to end in general, but the other would be Kyojuro Rengoku, living still as they speak. It seems like Rengoku is going to live another day and lives after a fight with the third strongest demon of the 12 Kizuki. And well, crows would sound and people would speak, and eventually they would head back to the mansion, and Tanjiro's, well, wants and kind of looking out for more information on sun breathing would go through Rengoku more than anything, and a little bit less of his father and younger brother. And Tanjiro would get as much help as he possibly could, learning, training, and also gathering more of what is going on with, well, you know, the one and only sun breathing technique, or the Hinokimi Kagura, and it seems like he'll learn more and more as things progress. But with obviously Rengoku helping him, it massively helps. I mean, there's no doubt about it that Rengoku being there is going to help him drastically, especially with his training, even if he has so little time to do so. Especially because before you know it, Tengen Uzui would try to kidnap Aoi and another little girl, and of course Kanao would be trying to stop it, but with the help of Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu, they tell Tengen that they're going to accompany him on his mission, so they disguise in the search for Tengen's wives. Now, initially, it's going half decent, right? Tanjiro meets quite a few different people, even meets some others that are very, very important to what is happening. But on top of that, Inosuke and Zenitsu are dealing with the demon themselves. But before you know it, Zenitsu would go missing and they would have no idea where he is. But before you know it, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, and Inosuke would be put in a position to take on the demon by the name of Daki. But before that would even occur, before Tanjiro truly finds a way and finds himself fighting alongside Tengen, he realizes that fighting Daki himself, he's able to take her on. Even take her on to a degree that he wasn't expecting. The combination of blood breathing and sun breathing is a potent combination, and it seems like his power and his scaling seems to be going overboard to the point where Daki doesn't feel like a chore at all. He even slices her head off, slicing through kind of the like kind of like the ribbons and or kind of like the scarf that she utilizes, or like the material she utilizes, and he thinks that this is too good to be true. And that would be correct, because Daki and Gyutaro would arrive and Tengen would be forced to actually fight Gyutaro, someone who is far stronger than Daki, and seemingly, well, Daki is actually holding him back. So much that this fight that is ensuing is an epic one. But with the help of Tanjiro and Tengen together, and Inosuke and Zenitsu together against someone like Daki, they're able to maintain the advantage, especially with Tanjiro's utilization of different blood quote-unquote demon arts, or at least somewhat similar versions of them. And on top of that, being able to slow down / halt a person or a demon entirely with the blood that is flowing within the body. And eventually, it leads to Tanjiro and Tengen being able to find an opening on Gyutaro and slicing for his neck. But he knows, and they all know, that that needs to happen against both of them borderline at the same time. So Tanjiro tries to have that opening and hold an opening for Tengen and also for Zenitsu and Inosuke, holding both Daki and Gyutaro still, and the shock would glaze over their faces, and it would be pretty damn obvious that with one strike through, that Zenitsu and Tengen would end this fight within one foul swoop, and Tanjiro, being the demon slayer he is, seemingly is arguably one of the greatest support-like demon slayers ever, with the powers that he's basically is being bestowed. But of course, Nezuko would kind of have her own awakening throughout this time, and that would be a way for them to get a massive upper hand against the demons. And before you know it, when Tengen is injured on the ground and borderline almost out of it because of poison, Nezuko is able to heal him, but he's a lot better off than you ever would have been in the first place. And luckily enough, yes, he still does decide to retire, but he is far better and in a far better place, and everybody just heads back to the Hashira mansions in a pretty decent manner and isn't hurt to a large degree. And the end of those demons, one of the high rank demons, well, is done and dusted, and it seems like we continue to see something that they haven't seen in years, and that's upper rank demons falling down the ladder, being destroyed, being defeated, and being killed. And Tanjiro Kamado is a massive reason for this. Now, of course, Tanjiro continues with his training at the Butterfly Mansion, doing stuff with concentration breathing, training, and so on and so forth. But he also decides that he's going to head over to the Swordsmith's village, not only for a new sword, because his sword is pretty damn beat up, but also to get some good and well-adjusted, flat-out training in there. And he even meets up with Mitsuri Kanroji, and also meets up with someone by the name of Genya, someone who he hasn't seen in a while, and someone who is absolutely shredded to the gills. And it seems like he has found his own way to progress, and his own way to get more powerful, and his own way to get stronger. And really, it's all about pumping that iron. He's gotten pretty damn strong in general. Now, with all that said, Tanjiro does have a bit of some issues with Muchiro, and of course he gives the old stone cold kind of whatever to Tanjiro, and even kind of tries to beat him up. Tanjiro's not expecting it, so he does kind of get beat up to a certain extent. But one thing Tanjiro really wants to get into is actually working with this Yoriichi type 0. So of course they do some fixing with the Yoriichi type, and Tanjiro trains his absolute ass off. And the fact that this Yoriichi type 0 has legitimately no blood within it, it's, well, just pure training, right? Him getting stronger naturally, not with his specific blood powers or his blood breathing in general. And it seems that, well, Tanjiro continues to like heighten his skills even more, and it's good that he is, because they have a fight against someone very, very soon, and that fight is Hantengu. And Hantengu is a scary damn mother effer, because Hantengu has forms that Tanjiro wouldn't believe, but there's one thing that Hantengu wasn't ready for, is Tanjiro understanding exactly how he works. Because Tanjiro, with his blood breathing, with his sun breathing, he's able to connect on a different level and see something within Hantengu, see something within the person, that he now knows what's going on. He now knows what this creature is, and he would tell, well, the other demon slayers that are there, including someone like Mitsuri, what is happening. But unfortunately, in telling them this, it does lead to Hantengu still kind of revealing some of these other forms and revealing some of these other versions. But Tanjiro knows quicker than usual what he needs to do, and how and what he needs to do to actually defeat this demon, and what he needs to do to actually end this demon, and that is to cut off the head of the small little tiny demon that is hiding within. And Tanjiro is trying and attempting to do just that, but with massive struggle, especially with Muchiro not able to actually attend the fight, facing off with Gyoko basically by himself. Tanjiro is doing everything he possibly can to, for the most part, try his best to basically defeat this demon and defeat whatever this demon is trying to do. And while all of the demon slayers, and including Tanjiro, are dealing with the manifestation of hatred from Hantengu, it seems like there's an opening for Tanjiro. Tanjiro slows down what's happening on the battlefield, and eventually Tanjiro would find an opening on the small and true version of Hantengu, ending the demon swiftly, as Gyoko would be ended in a similar fashion by Muchiro. and it seems like they're able to get the upper hand. Everybody gasping for air, everybody tired, pushed to their limits, especially because not only were they training throughout this entire time, they were not prepared for these people, for these demons to show up on the front doorstep of a demon slayer kind of kept secret. But before you know it, the sun would start to rise. The sun would start to basically glow, and Tanjiro would run over to Nezuko, basically jumping over her to hide her from the sun. But something tells Nezuko that everything's gonna be alright. Her hand is out of where Tanjiro is able to cover her, and she realizes that nothing's happening. That the power from the sun, the heat, the ability, the whatever is happening with the sun, it's not working. And she steps out from Tanjiro and reveals that she has conquered the sun. And this is something that Muzan Kibutsuji can sense, can feel, and understands. All he's thinking about is what and when can he get a hold of the power to conquer the sun. But knowing that Nezuko has now peaked and Nezuko has now conquered the sun itself, Tanjiro now has to embark with other demon slayers on training that they have never thought of before. Hashira training. Tanjiro begins training with the likes of Giyu, the likes of Tengen, training with Muchiro, Mitsuri, and many others, Obanai, Saname, Gyome, and many, many different things. And as all of this is occurring, as all of this is happening, and as all of this is ensuing, it seems as if everything is going proper. Everything is going well, and Tanjiro has reached borderline his peak of what he can truly do. But before you know it, Saname would find something that would terrifying, something that would be so damn scary. Discovers the spy that has been watching, and the spy that has been really watching them for so long, leading to Muzan confronting Ubuyashiki, and very, very soon it seems as if the death of the head of the demon slayers would be imminent, as an explosion would ensue, and it seems like Muzan in his wake would stand as the explosion in the building would engulf him in flames, and Tanjiro and the other demon slayers would prepare themselves to fight the king of all the demons in what he would call, and what Muzan knows as, the Infinity Castle. The castle that is always going to benefit the demons themselves, and the castle itself that will only make them better. And it seems like the demon slayers have one choice, one chance, and one go-ahead, and that is to take them all down right here, right now, leading to the eventual stopping of who they know as Muzan Kibutsuji. They have one time, one night, all the way till sunrise. It's either them or the demons. Whoever comes out on top is who's going to be able to take this world, and who's going to be able to take everything in the right direction. But it seems like the Infinity Castle will have to wait for the near future. And if you guys enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. I know some of you are probably like, hey, why don't you do the Infinity Castle and the Sunrise Countdown? That's something that I am kind of debating with right now, because we do have the movies, or a movie, coming out very soon. So I might just stick, for the most part, with the anime. But if a lot of you in the comments are like, no, come on, please do the manga as well, I will definitely consider doing the manga too. Now, I gotta have like a ton of people saying it and all that stuff, but for now, I kind of like just sticking to the anime. Makes things a little bit simpler for me in terms of like where I want to go with things and how I want to do things. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the finale of What If Tanjiro Had Blood Breathing. If you guys enjoyed, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.